you to listen, I need you to hear.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope your week is going great. Welcome to the vlog. I'm doing an update on my Chameleon. This is Raptor, as all of you know that's been a part of this channel. I also want to start off by saying welcome to all the newcomers to this channel. I've gotten quite a few new subscribers, and just want to say welcome and thank you for subscribing. This channel is a work in progress, and it is taking off like I never thought it would. Please like my Facebook page. I will post it down, the link in the description. So go check that out if you're not a part of it. And let's get to this. So this is just a little bit of an update with my Chameleon, my veiled Chameleon, Raptor. He has been doing great. If you've been following a part of my Facebook page, he went under some health problems. Some of them really concerned me, but then I did finally figure out what the problem was, and I was able to fix it immediately. So let me kind of go from the beginning. About a month ago, he all of a sudden started to quit eating. He did not want to eat anything. He would refuse any type of insect that I gave him. Didn't matter if it was crickets. I even tried roaches. I tried superworms, waxworms. He did not want it. I didn't know why. He went on for at least 2 weeks without eating, and that's when I really got concerned. And I started calling around vets, trying to figure out what was going on with him. I thought maybe he had some sort of like internal blockage. That's what I thought for the longest time, and I was kind of panicking, trying to find a vet to get him to, but there's not very many in my area that are cheap, because I don't exactly have the type of funds to just go to a vet spontaneously and pay out $300-400. That can be pretty hard to do sometimes. So I kept calling around, and then I also did more research. This was maybe like 3 weeks into this, and all the vets I talked to were saying if he had a blockage, that he should probably have been dead already. Well, he wasn't. He was actually still pretty normal. The only thing that wasn't normal was him not eating. He would, walk around his cage. He was very active, very friendly. Well, sometimes that's how chameleons are. Mine, anyhow. Anyway, he was very active. He was drinking water, so I know that he wasn't dehydrated. And he would, go around his cage. He would bask. He would even sit right under his UV lamp. So I was very, very confused. This is about 3 weeks into this. I was very, very confused, and not really sure what to do. So I just started researching more and more. Found a couple forums. And some people were saying that their veiled chameleon went on a hunger strike. This is the first I knew about hunger strikes and chameleons. I didn't realize that they do this. And they were saying that their chameleon went up to even almost a month and a half without eating. And then they offered different food, and they right away, just like that, started eating again. So he would not eat the crickets alone, or he wouldn't eat the roaches alone, or he would not eat like waxworms or superworms, like individually. So what I did, I experimented. I took some roaches into, a feeder cup that I use, usually just a little Tupperware. And I took that, put waxworms and roaches in it. Spotted roaches, what I was using, as only what I was able to get. And he did not right away try to eat them. It still took about a day or so before I can actually get him to eat them. He acted like he was interested, but at the same time he didn't want to eat it. So after like a few days of frustration, actually almost a month long of frustration, trying to understand and figure out what is going on and why is he doing this. One night I tried feeding him and he finally ate. It wasn't what I wanted him to eat, but he ate. That's all that really mattered to me at this time. He was starting to eat the waxworms. He really started to enjoy those. Waxworms aren't the best for chameleons. They are very high in fat, but at this point I really didn't care what he was eating as long as I knew he was eating. That I knew that he wasn't gonna just starve to death, because that could have very well happened. He is now starting to put on some weight, more than what he was during his hunger strike, his fasting that he went on. So he started eating the waxworms, and he then just started to progress, thankfully. I started to get him to eat the roaches. He didn't care for them as much. He didn't go after them like he did the waxworms. So yeah, I got him to start eating the roaches. He didn't care too much, as like I said, for them, but he ate them, and that's all that really mattered to me. I basically kind of tricked him into eating them with the waxworms. He'd still go after the waxworms, but he'd end up getting a roach or two at a time anyway. So that that obviously made me more happy. And since then he's been eating. I have started him back on crickets, but I also now have a variety of insects that I'm giving him. And I've also changed his feeding schedule from every day to every other day. I've heard of a lot of people doing that, and they say that their chameleon is still happy and healthy and maintaining weight. So that is what I've changed to doing. And he seems to be doing okay. He's still a little grumpy here and there, but that's partially my fault, because I think I have maybe mentioned this before. He does not get handled. He does not get handled enough that he should get, due to a reason that I can't help. I have allergies to basically everything as far as animals or environmental stuff, and I unfortunately have allergic reactions to his skin. I can hold him and handle him, obviously. It's not like to where I can't touch him at all or even be near him, but I can handle him, but I start breaking out in tiny little red bumps after maybe even 10 minutes of handling him. I also have another allergic reaction to another reptile, which is one of my favorite reptiles, unfortunately, is black rat snakes. I find them all the time out on the roads and everything. And if I handle them too much, like for too long of time, I get the same reactions that I do from him on my skin. My skin starts getting real irritated and like real just rashy almost. So it's unfortunate, but there's nothing really that I can do about it. It sucks being a reptile hobbyist and enthusiast. I mean, I've studied these animals for most of my life. For at least 10 years I've studied these animals. So it's just, it kind of is a smack in the face when you have some type of allergic reaction to them, to certain reptiles. It sucks, but it's not to the point where I can't handle them at all, luckily. I do occasionally take him out. Sometimes when I'm feeding him, he'll eat and then he'll crawl right onto my arm. He might even now, I don't know. He's kind of freaked out by the camera. Wanna come out, Lee? Nah, okay. He's a little freaked out from the camera. I don't usually put a camera in his face, but I thought I'd give you all an update because I haven't had an update on just him. I have been, for a while now, basically focusing on my fish and the projects going on there, which there is more to come. And I just posted a sneak peek of what next project is coming. I don't think anyone's really looked at it yet, but I just uploaded it like a day or so ago. But anyway, that's the update on this guy. This also sets as an example on reasons that you should not. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, obviously. I'm not going to. Just saying from my experiences and knowledge that chameleons do not make great pets. Let me rephrase that. Chameleons do not make great first-time reptiles. They require so much. I've preached enough on other videos about it and post on my Facebook page that they are very advanced reptile to own. I'm not saying that you can't own one for a first reptile or even a second reptile. I'm just saying it's going to be very challenging. It can be very challenging. There's a lot that has to go into their care. Right humidity, right type of environment set up. Most will only eat live insects, so then you also have to care for those live insects. Make sure that they're healthy, because you don't want to be feeding any insects that might have some type of parasite, because if they have it, then he eats it, and then he's going to get that parasite, and then you could possibly lose your chameleon. They require so much, just the right temperatures. They're very, very sensitive to heat, so you have to have just the right basking spot temperature. You need UV, so just the right UV. And another thing that is pretty hard, that can be hard anyway to do, is their water. Chameleons will probably never drink from standing water. If they do, you just have an abnormal chameleon. You can't just leave, a bowl of water in their cage and go away for a day or so and think they're gonna drink from it, because they're not going to. Like I said, unless your chameleon is just special, most average everyday chameleons are not gonna do that. They won't know enough to go down to the bottom of their cage or wherever you put the bowl at and, hey, this is where I get water from. They're not gonna know that. They need moving water. There's several different things you can do. There's a dripper system. You can buy at most pet shops or online pet stores. And all it is basically a container you set up top on the cage, and then it has a little spout that you can control the flow, and then it usually has like a little hose. This is just a homemade one I have right now. I made it from a bottle. It works enough to get the job done. I am gonna get another one. It's just I haven't had the time to just go and get one. But what he has now works. And you also they will also drink droplets of water off of leaves or whatever. It's good to have a lot of foliage, a lot of greenery in their cage. One, it helps them feel at home. They can naturally camouflage themselves like they would in the wild. And plus, any moisture or any droplets of water on their foliage, they will also lick off. You do need to also spray their cage down once or twice a day. That is a lot depending on what your humidity levels in your room is, or your house, wherever you have your cage at. Like I said, these guys, they require so much. They're also very, very sensitive, and any little thing can stress them out. Like even moving them to just a different part of your room, the whole cage, can stress them out for a couple of days. They're very sensitive. They can also have a lot of health problems if you don't know what you're doing. Within the last maybe 2 years, he had gotten a thermal burn on his back. You can see it right where it was. It was my fault. I had a too hot of a basking light, and he got burned. It wasn't too bad to where he had to go to the vet or anything. I was able to treat it at home. Lots of Neosporin, and he healed. He's completely healed, but it looks worse than what it is. Like I said, guys, I don't try to be perfect. I don't want to pretend to be perfect. You know, things happen. I make mistakes. God knows I've made many. I mean, he's all healed. He's healthy. He's very healthy. It's just, you know, things happen and people make mistakes. That being said, that is also an example of why chameleons don't make great first-time pets, first-time reptiles. They just require so much. I can't even list it all right now in this video. They're very advanced. They are very rewarding. I will say that. They can be very rewarding, but they just require so much time, so much money. They require so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was just a little update on how he has been doing. He is doing great, and I hope he continues doing great as far as like eating what he should and when he should. I'll keep you guys posted. Like I said, like my Facebook page. I will post it in the description box below. And I will talk to you later. Bye.